into KIRO Nights. I am G. Scott. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Now, the holidays are here, but I'm sure you already knew that, and gifting and regifting and holiday get-togethers are all happening during this time in less than 1 week until Christmas Day, so you know the rush is on. Sharon Schweitzer, an international etiquette and modern manners expert who is the founder of Access to Culture, she's on now to give us a help and a professional expert opinion on all of this. She joins me right now. Sharon, thank you so much for joining KIRO Nights.
It's my pleasure, Guy. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So I want to talk about a few things, gifting and regifting etiquette and also holiday get-togethers. So I'll start off with the gifting and regifting. How do you regift appropriately without getting caught?
Well, there are a few things that you want to make sure that you do. According to American Express, in a survey, 76% of U.S. Americans believe regifting is socially appropriate. If you're planning to do so, you want to make sure that you regift in different social, family, and business circles. You want to remove all traces of the original gift giving, including handwritten notes and any cards, any gift tags. Otherwise, you're going to be caught and they're going to think you're naughty.
Yes, naughty for sure. Some of the things that I'm sure that folks out there are wondering, some might have a boss, so we maybe are fortunate enough to work for ourselves, but do you give your boss and or your colleagues a gift during the holiday season?
Well, there's really no easy answer to that. The answer is it depends. And the first thing you want to do is look at your corporate policy. Look at the organizational policy. So many organizations will have it up on their website or their intranet, or they might have it in their HR policy. And so it'll depend on your organizational culture. If you can't find the policy, do one of a couple other things. Either check with HR or ask your internal coach or ask someone who's been around the office for a while, what is the culture here? What do people normally do? Because it may be that the employees will pool together their funds, and let's say there's 80 people. People may pool together $5 or $10 and get a charitable donation together to the boss's favorite charity, or they may get a gift certificate to the boss's favorite fitness store or their favorite restaurant. So there may be something that people typically do, and if there is, you definitely want to participate, because if you don't, it sets a real negative work dynamic.
Sharon, what do you think about this? I kind of have a theory, and see if you think that I'm wrong with this. My theory kind of goes back to when we were kids, and if you didn't have enough for the entire class, you don't bring anything at all. And or my philosophy at work is this: there might be one or two that I might want to give a holiday gift to. I'm going to give it to them in a private setting as opposed to in front of everyone in the office. What's your thoughts on that?
You're exactly right. If you want to bring a gift, maybe for 2 or 3 people who you work with together as a team, and you aren't able to bring a gift for the other 15 people in the office, you want to go and have a separate lunch or gathering after work for that. You don't want to exchange those gifts in the office, because there will inevitably be hurt feelings, and people are going to talk about that, and they're going to feel excluded, and you want to avoid that. That's just not something that you want to have happen, because it makes for feelings of uncomfortableness and definitely awkwardness.
We're joined here by Sharon Schweitzer. She is an international etiquette and modern manners expert here on KIRO Nights, and really appreciate her for joining us. How about with these gifts? Question for you, this is, do you give cash? Do you give gift cards or a physical gift?
Well, again, it depends. Are you talking about business, or are you talking about social and family?
How about social and family? Let's go outside of business. Let's go social and family on cash, gift cards, or physical gifts.
Okay. Well, a lot of times with family, the family will say, you know, this year we want to do gifts, or this year we all want to do gift cards. So you definitely want to see kind of what are the family parameters. Is the family putting a limit on spending? It's not that you want to do match spending, but you don't want to necessarily match how much you spend. But a lot of times people say, we don't want you to go over $50 or $25 or $100. We just don't want you spending all that money for gifts. So you want to let thoughtfulness drive your gift buying, not pressure. It loses its meaning. So you want to think about, what is it that this person really enjoys doing? What do they do for a hobby? Do they like to fish? Do they like to hunt? Are they more into cooking? What are their hobbies, and what would they really enjoy if you were to purchase it for them? And then let that be your guide to how you want to make your purchases.
All right, I'm going to switch gears here, and I'm going to switch to a topic that is it's a underrated conversation, but I believe it capitulates everything during the holidays. And when it comes to holiday get-togethers, how do you keep peace with family members you don't necessarily get along with?
Well, and that's always a challenge at the holidays, because we all have to get together with the family. And so there's a couple of things that you can think about in order to keep the peace with the family. So a couple of things you want to do. The number one thing you want to do is be polite and then grin and bear it, because there's nothing more awkward than a family feud during the holidays. So it might be tough, but your best bet is to be polite, be civil to everyone, even if some of the relatives might not be your favorite, because your mature attitude and behavior will help reduce bickering and family fights, especially at the family dinner table. One of the best things you can do is, in the U.S., we stick to small talk, like weather, sports, what the sports teams are doing, other non-controversial topics like pets, children, what are the books you've read, some of the new movies that have come out, what are you going to do for travel, maybe what you did for this past spring break, what are you going to do for next spring break, things like vacation, all those things, because those topics tend to be safe topics. And there are going to be times when you're going to get a snarky relative. They're going to bait you and try to get you to, launch into an outburst at the dinner table. Try to block those attempts by showing them kindness, because being kind, even though challenging at times, is the best way to avoid an all-out scene and prevent a breakdown. And people are going to remember your graciousness, especially if you can turn the attention back to that relative by being genuinely interested in their lives and avoiding personal questions that might put them on the defensive.
International etiquette expert and modern manners expert, Sharon Schweitzer. She joins me now in a couple more minutes before we let you go. And thank you so much for joining us. There are some that are going to be hosting these holiday get-togethers. What are the responsibilities of being a good host?
Well, as a host in the U.S., one of the first things now today with our current lifestyles is, when you're a host, you want to make sure you always ask people, do you have any type of food sensitivities or any diet restrictions, such as gluten, dairy, sugar, or do you have a kosher or halal or anything like that? You want to find out if there's anything special with their diet. And you want to do that when you extend the invitation if you're a host. As a guest, you want to RSVP right away within 24 to 48 hours, and you want to let the host know if you have any diet or food sensitivities so that you can plan properly. And as the guest, it's your responsibility, if you have food restrictions, to bring something that you can eat, or offer to bring something if the host is not going to have a meal that you're able to dine on. Sharon Schweitzer, means the world that you took the time to join us. We really appreciate that. Sharon is the International Etiquette and Modern Manners expert. She is the founder of Access to Culture. You can find her website at www.protocolww.com. Sharon, thank you so much. It's my pleasure. I wish you happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.